Hey, all, it's Dinosaur again. Okay, so this is Real World Explosion, episode 7. Uh, the 7 entry into the real world. And this one was kind of interesting. Now, somehow, to start things off, we kind of pick up on the cliffhanger where Corey's ex girlfriend says she has tested positive for pregnancy, and Corey kind of figured out that it wasn't him because of the time frame involved. I can see where he's coming from when he said that he's only had sex for so much amount of time, um, and then there's just no way he'd do it. Now, here's the thing, that, and I can kind of see where he's coming from as a guy, on that when even though it's his friend, on that when she's like, I really need you here, and he says, listen to me, I cannot be a part of this, on that I am your friend, but I'm not the father, I'm not the one responsible. You need to go and take care of business. And I don't know if it's his kid or not kid. I really doubt it, but who knows. On the But also, like, with Corey is like, I would be like, well, what the hell? You're pregnant from someone I don't even know, on that, and it's just like, they say due protection, but when you see something like this, you're like, what the hell is going on that? But that's my own comments. But anyway, well, they go out here. They have an argument about this, and Corey's like, I cannot be involved. I cannot be there for you. Here, now, interestingly enough, the producer of the Real World gets involved and tries. This is, I think, the first time we've seen the producer gets involved and then tells them, okay, look, this is a serious situation. She's going through hard. I got to know what's going on here. Which was interesting. I've only seen one other time in the real world, but granted, I haven't seen every single real world in the 30-year history. But the only other time I ever saw was way back when you saw like a couple of real fights where security got involved, or a producer got involved. The ones I can remember most was the slap heard around the world in Seattle, where the one guy smacked that one girl, where the producers the producers threw him out. I threw that guy out. The other one was way back in Los Angeles, where you could see the different cameramans like not sure how to deal with the situation where producers got involved on that. But it was interesting. So she's going through problems. You need to talk to this. He's like, I'm not dealing with this. This is not my kid. So eventually he says, okay, I got to be the friend she is, but she does need to go home with her family and explain this. Now, what happens to the kid, I don't know. It leads to other touchy subjects, such as keep it or not, adopt the kid or not. I don't know. I'm not in that situation. I mean, a lot of me says pro-life. And a lot of me says, have it, but then give it for adoption. But then again, you were the one who made this mistake, and you have to do the best thing with it. But the other thing is, I'd find out who the father is and do something about that. But that's just my opinion on that. The other half of it is that we find out Brian and the blonde girl, they're getting back together, and they're talking about, like relationships and all on that. And then, so then we have a little bit of drama there, along with the other couple, the freshly new couple. So, but then, those are not really the interesting ones. Those were just common because Brian's like, oh, I'm like this, and we're gonna go out, we're gonna have a good time. And she's like, oh, I hope you go out to California, and I love you, and all that. On that. Now, the interesting part of this episode was actually the Ariel when she brought her friends over. And what I thought was so fascinating about this is it was her friends that were all either lesbian, gay, or trans. And what trans is one of them, which only one of them would talk about it, was is trans, and specifically would be willing to talk to it about everyone. And the guys were actually quite asking a lot of questions, like how does this work? I mean, and one of the most interesting things, they were like, well, how does like the male hormone, I mean, what do they do? Do you have to inject yourself all the time? And you actually got an inside view of one of these people who went through one of those changes, on that what they go through, and how, to be honest, if I saw them on the street, I probably would never know on that. And it was a very actually fascinating episode about just the medical aspects of it, and the social aspects of it. I mean, personally, I'll never do it, but I'm just saying that to some people out there that just elect to do this, you see it on TV, and I know we've seen it on other shows like Family Guy that make fun of it royally on that. But here's one who did it for real, and he's telling them about it, and which was fascinating. Now, but they also said there are other people that were transgender that wouldn't say on that what it is either. So it was a very, very interesting episode. I was very pleased with its content on the episode, and even though everything seems to be looking up in paradise, oh no, 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 you don't get away that easily on that. With all the friends decide to go out in a boys and a girls night out, two groups. Basically, the girls' joke is they're all going to go to a lesbian club. All right. And with the lesbian club, on that, they're going to enjoy themselves thoroughly on the at the club, and just do that. The boys get to go out to their club, and you see, with that, this includes couples that are like boyfriend and girlfriend, but it's boys' night out, girls' night out. That's all it is. So there are some, you can kind of see some of the relationships get strained a little bit. Where like, are you sure you want to do this? Do you want to go out and do this because you could violate trust? And they're like, come on, no, it'll be okay. On that, there is a little bit of a bias. I'm like, you better not bring any girls home, and just funny stuff like that. And they're like, you wish. and that's it. And that's where things got kind of funny on that. So then they go out, the girls go out, and a lot of girls meet like a lot of prettier other girls, and they're dancing, they're drunk, they're having a great old time, okay? It gets to the guys, and the guys are dancing, they're having a great old time. But then, like, Corey noticed that Brian was getting up on this one hot Filipino chick, which was supposedly a chemical engineer on that. Let me tell you something about that. She might be telling the truth. I don't know who she is on that, but I'll say this: I've been into plenty of places where girls were just hot as hell, and then they said they were studying for nursing or doctor or something else, and that's a bunch of bullshit on that, because it's just not. No. There's no way on that. But then they could be right. I don't know. She was Filipino, and I have to admit she was, wow on that. She wasn't. I think she was a mix though. I think she was Filipino and Spanish or something, or Filipino white, because she was definitely a mix on that. I don't think she was 100% Filipino on that, but it could be incorrect on that. But it didn't matter, she was sexy. It was like, wow. And even other people were like, wow. And Brian, he starts making out with her, and that's the big cliffhanger. It's like, oh no, what is he going to do? Is he going to tell Jenny? Jenny's going to freaking kill him, And then everyone now is going, oh boy. The big cliffhanger, Ryan and Jenny. Now remember, this is the same one that did this whole knife thing for a minute ago. And it's like, really? And now you're going, now this guy, her ex-boyfriend, the big buff dude, is now kissing up with this and got her phone number and everything. You know, is nuts. It's just the whole situation is crazy. So basically, he goes off and gets her number, and they all kind of go home, and you know, there's some freaky moments the girl has with him, not really anything worth mentioning on that. But I still think the most fascinating was the conversation with the transgender, where they told what they went through and what they have to go through, and which was interesting. On that, it was different because you were trying to guess who it was, and I would never have guessed. I would have guessed faster gay than I would have transgender, but I was wrong. So, anyway, this is Dinosaur. I hope you liked episode 7, and I'll see you soon. Bye.